Hi, I'm Erica. I'm founder of English Islands, and this video is to show you how to use our new feature, Automated Lessons. Okay, let's hop in here. So let's say you're self-registering, and you get to the very bottom where you see it says Starting Level. So we're going to click on that, and this is where you will choose the starting point for your entire class. Now, you can change this for individual students later, but for now, you will need to choose a starting point in general for your class. So let's say my class has finished all of the alphabet letters, the short vowels. They've finished learning CVC words. So I'm going to start them off at a point where they have finished up all of these short vowels and consonants. And I'll probably pick around here where you see it's reviewing the short vowels here, and then going into more difficult material. So I'll choose lesson 35, hit register, and I'll need to choose a school name or type in a school name. I'm just going to write in demo here, hit save. And now I'll need to add students first, right? So you can click here to add students. You can just copy and paste a list in very quickly, but I'm just going to go ahead and type in a few names here. And in this, just make sure you have one student per row. That will add them as separate students. So I'll hit add all students. And you'll see now the students' names showing up here on the left, a book icon and a number here. So that number is the current lesson that the students are on. And as you'll recall, I chose lesson 35 as the starting point. So you'll see it's defaulting these students all to lesson 35. You can change that at any time by going up into your class info section, which is here. There's a little pencil icon here. You can change the general starting point for your entire class by going in here and changing it to a different lesson. So I'm going to keep it as it is. But if you want to change any individual student, you can also do that. So let's say, for example, my student Rika is actually brand new to alphabet in general, hasn't practiced much at all in terms of the alphabet, and really needs to be starting at the beginning. So I'm going to start Rika at the very first lesson, which is short vowel A, and I'm going to hit save. And you'll see that updates that to now say 5 instead of 35. And let's say student Jaden here is more advanced, and I'd actually like him to start working on the silent E. So I'm going to move Jaden into the silent E section here. I'm going to hit save, and you'll see now that reflected in his student number. So let's take a peek as well at how this works for the students, right? So to see that, I'm going to just copy that class code right there, and I'm going to go ahead and log out as a teacher, log back in as that student, and you'll see what happens. So because Liam is working on lesson 35, you'll see all of that pop up here. The first thing that students will see actually is a general tutorial. So this is just to teach them how to use English Islands. And then it will move them in the student into that lesson 35 material. So you'll notice that this is the only one right now that has a play button. Everything else is locked. So students are not able to access that. And that's because this is designed to work in order of easier to more difficult material. And we don't want the students randomly jumping into something that they're not prepared for. So they'll have to play it one at a time. But once they've completed these lessons, it will move this lesson down here based on how well they did. And they will be able to redo that lesson. So if, for example, they only got 1 out of 3 stars, that means they didn't do so well on that lesson. It will show up right here. They'll be able to go back and redo that. But in general, that's how it works, right? They'll do one lesson at a time. And then once all of these 35s, so once these lesson 35s have been completed, then the new lessons will load. And yet then you'll see lesson 36 appearing in here. And that's how it works. We would love to hear any and all feedback you might have. And this is just an introductory, so we'll be making other videos as well. Be sure to check out the other videos on how to add lessons manually to students, even while you're using the automated lesson feature. All right, thank you so much.